Hey guys, what is up? My goodness, how are you? Happy Tuesday. I just want to say that you are tuning into Deep and Roots podcast. My name is Kara Olker, and I am a health and life coach, more specifically, a personal power coach. I help you deepen your personal power by uprooting the inherited mindsets designed to keep you hidden. In my practice, we focus on inherited language around thoughts, internal shame around feelings, and external shame around actions that perpetuate the cycle of thoughts and feelings, which is the result of personal relationships, society, and patriarchy. Deep and Roots podcast has been created to give listeners the opportunity to connect how mindsets can lift up, mess up our personal power, feeling your feelings, dealing with your feelings, healing and your feelings, trusting your gut while you pull away from the noise and get grounded in yourself. Now that is the beginning of taking back your personal power, however you need to, in a way that serves you. Now let's get started. This is episode 54. So I was going to have Usama on today, Usama Zeid Bashir Salim. Let's say it again because I love getting people's names right. Usama Zeid Bashir Salim. And he's a life coach and public speaker who transforms people's mindsets to pursue their dreams by building their confidence. He's also known in the LinkedIn world as simply Usama. And he is a thunderbolt in human form. I wanted to talk about confidence, and it's so funny, we both are just like so late to just talking, and or we miss each other, or he truly is so energetic he messes up his own internet. Like it's so funny. We're so lucky to connect when we do. So Usama, if you're watching or if you hear the bat signal or feel it, hop on that link I gave you. If not, we're just still going to have a show and talk about confidence in any way that, we want to and can. And already I see Christina and Senor Payasada. Christina says, good morning. And Senor Payasada, I love you. You interesting human being, you. He says, feeling the dealings in my gut so I can have my belly power to be transformed by Usama's lightning or thunderbolt. Yes. You know what? I feel that one. You speak in tongues, but I feel that one. Hey, Tim Stone, what is up? So, yeah, I just, in addition to today is Women's Day. And I love it because this month is National Women's Month. And of course, being a woman has significant meaning to me, and that, there needs to be a month to talk about all women's accomplishments and how they help create history, because we are history as well. And so with it being just with it being Women's Day, I just want to recognize some LinkedIn women that I've come to know and love. And it's a good little list. And if for some reason I miss your name, it is not because I love you any less. It's because my brain shuts down often. So I just want to give a mention. Dorothy Ann Graham Odell, Michelle Dawn Carr, Emily Harmon, Elizabeth Ndungu, Legia Chacon Hernandez, Patty Hone, Charlene Brown, Dr. Lori Baker Shenna, Nancy Barrows, Rachel Druckenmiller, DJ Durante, Inger Van Rooy, Felicia Miller Johnson, Gracie Ruth Melendez, Jenny Gold, and Ashley Marie. All these ladies I'm so grateful to know, because all of them have their own superpower. All of them have their strong identifier. And I see all of us just mull in our greatness and our struggles and our insecurities in the most beautiful, graceful way, and honest and authentic. And I think that we can't ask for anything more out of humans, right? So happy Women's Day to everyone, to all the strong women out there, and to all the women that I know that I can't just put down on a list, and all the women that we all know. And oh my gosh, Usama doing like a little jump, and he's like, ah! Okay, I'm so happy. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna bring Usama on, and we got this.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Oh my gosh. I don't know how you got down there. Hold on. There you are. That's so much better. How are you?
I'm doing great. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Actually, I
Oh
went
my
on a
gosh, no.
distance somewhere. I just went on a distance a little bit, and then afterwards, actually, on the way, I just saw it's 2 minutes left, so I had to literally run all the way. I was like, oh my. Why,
No, it's fine. So I was telling the audience that we literally just miss each other, and if we get each other, it's the best treat ever. And so however long I have you is on the show is great, because it's just like great until your internet cuts out, because you're so full of energy. Like, I'm happy to have you on.
the feeling is mutual. It was Captain Marvel.
I know you, and you're like, ah! And then sometimes that cuts out your internet. So, I do want to ask real quick, because I just started talking about the awesome women that I know, and it is Women's Day. So of course that's a personal, like a good little day, for me to remember all the women, and be inspired by all the women around me. Do you want to mention any awesome women in your life today that you know?
Mm. Well, it's surprisingly, it's surprisingly we call it International Women's Day, but I don't know. I look at it as every day is a Women's Day
Yeah.
to our mothers, to our mothers, to our sisters, to our beloved ones, for instance, wives and whatnot. So I don't know. It's really difficult to pick. So definitely, my greatest role model of all, definitely is my mother, my sister, and so yeah, just honor them and love them every other day, and I can't thank them enough. I don't get the chance to thank them, but these actually, that's why my sister, I call her as my second mother, because that's what I say. Well, it's like my sister is actually another. So yeah, and then across everyone and anyone, definitely that contributes so much in order to make a difference in the lives of others. They might not see it, they might not be validated, but just let them all know, to all the women across the globe, they are appreciated, they are validated, and each of their opinions definitely contribute a lot to community and to societies. And not just today, but every other day, because the world would not rise without love. How
Yeah.
about we spread love so that we acknowledge love and feel love for the better? So yeah.
I love it. Yes, and I agree. Every day is Women's Day. Every day is Pride Day for me. Like it's like all of it, all of everything in the world. Like, why don't we just celebrate all of it? And oh my gosh, I just lost my thought. But I love how you talked about like love, because women are born nurturers, even those who don't feel so nurturing, because I mean, there's so many types of women, so many kinds of women, where so many different shapes, sizes, personalities, but women are love and nurturing and creative and all of the things. We're fluid, we're movement, and so
Mm-hmm.
celebrating all of that. And I
So I
appreciate
don't know
you
what
because
to
you're a
drop.
beautiful human. Huh?
Ah, appreciate. I don't know what to drop. You dropped so many gems right now. I feel like I'll drop the table right now. I feel like you dropped so many bombs already.
I mean, you too. I love it when men are like, every day is Women's Day. Like, yes, it is. Every day is Usama Day, too.
Uh, but not a better day towards every other day like Kara's day.
Oh my gosh. So, it's so funny. Today, I've been going around like crazy so much. I never told you, but we're going to talk about confidence today because you're all about it.
Let's go. Any topic, anything, I'll just dive in. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, okay, so I already introduced you when you weren't here. Because I was like, hey, I was gonna have Usama Zeid Bashir Salim on, and he's a life coach and public speaker who transforms people's mindsets to pursue their dreams by building confidence. And then I also said he's a thunderbolt in human form. So,
Thunderbolt. That introduction in and for itself is way better than BBC or CNN. They need to retire. Like,
yeah.
because when
So, and then Senior Payasada, you've heard of him. You know him, right?
mayhem,
No, no, no. You've heard of Senior Payasada, right?
the Pirates.
No. Senior
Sorry, the line is a bit
Payasada.
shaky.
No.
Oh, okay. Now it's a bit. I
He
think it's okay.
he
Okay.
dropped it.
Okay. Okay. Feeling the dealings in my gut, so now I can have belly button to be transformed by Osama's energy. Yeah, Senor is the man, the living legend. Yeah, of course, Senor. Yep. No, no. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wait. It, so my computer decided to pen that one. It must really like that comment. But yeah, I mean, let's get into it, Usama. Like, okay, who are you and how did you light up this LinkedIn sphere?
Okay. Now I think it's okay. So let me get this
Oh,
straight. So you
do we
asked.
need to
Oh,
move?
okay. Now I think. No, no, no.
Oh,
I
it
think
is
the
me.
internet. I
Is it
think.
me?
I
It's the
think the
energy.
internet connection. I think.
Hold on, I'm moving. I think it really is both of us together.
But
There you
for
go.
you, it's
Better.
the for your end, it's the kindness and tranquility and compassion that actually even the internet can't even handle it. That's why it's like it's a bit shaky. That's why.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. If we're just gonna roll with it, like that's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. No worries.
Yeah,
So
no big deal. So,
yeah,
I mean, who are you, Osama, and how did you burst into the LinkedIn sphere?
um, powerful question. I mean, I think as even when it comes to asking and acknowledging ourselves, this is actually a daily, I would say, or a daily purpose, a daily plan to be actually inquiring about ourselves and who we are. So I'm just a simple person, simple individual who thrives. I mean, even in the wordings of one of the quotes that says, I always live by rise by help uplifting others to the best of my
Mhm.
capabilities, and to not, I mean, as a lifelong learner, to learn from everyone because I'm always inspired by everyone and willing to learn from everyone because we are all one, right? Because it takes one to know one, to acknowledge one, and that's how we become a whole one. And this is actually how I genuinely see it. I mean, it's just that endless journey of learning, growing, meeting up with wonderful people across the globe. So this actually, I mean, because couple of years ago and everything, because of, I mean, as I've underwent through bullying, discrimination, and racism and whatnot. So I know this one actually, in a way, it drags people down. I mean, it can pull people down. It can take their confidence away, and there for them not to being able to spark out loud or to allow their own lights to shine. And this is where afterwards, when that thing came about, during that moment when it used to happen, I started feeling a little bit insecure and everything. But the moment it started to change slowly but surely, when I entered in towards the route of coaching. I didn't even know that was coaching, but because I couldn't handle to see people in pain, I couldn't handle to see people in sorrow, I couldn't handle to see people whooping or weeping. I couldn't stand. I couldn't stand that. So as a result, I would even jump in, even if it's a stranger I don't even know. But I'll dive in, and then I was like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right on your end?" And then it's like, "No, no, I don't want." I was like, "Okay, I wish you generally the best of luck, but I just want to let you know if you need someone to talk to, I'm around." So I didn't know that was coaching, so I just started. But genuinely, it felt really good. I mean, to talk to people, and then you get to that because of the fact that they had someone to hear their stories, because to be intentional, to be actually empathetic, to feel what they feel. So that's how they will be able to heal. I mean, because as they say, if we don't feel what others feel, then we can't heal.
Yeah.
So that actually what came about forth with coaching and then public speaking. It's been like almost 8 to 9 years. I really loved it so much when I first joined university. It was 7 years ago, because whenever one presentation used to come about, I used to fall in love with it. But because previously I was extremely nervous, shy, and everything, but then I fell in love. I mean, whenever when an opportunity comes about, or so, and then even towards that, I started socializing, getting to know the people even more and more, and then I decided it's like, how about if I applied that humanitarian, the whatever that I've been using, I mean, in the real world, to apply to LinkedIn, and the results multiplied. And that's why I go by this phrase: double the trouble and make it bubble, and that's how you become unstoppable. So yeah, and that's all, me in a nutshell. Even though that was like bunch of nutshells, because I wore down all the Nutella on top of it.
Oh my gosh. No, I just and thank you so much for that. Like I love how you said a little bit ago, if you don't allow yourself to feel what others feel, you can't heal. And that's so powerful because if you don't acknowledge other people's feelings, it's like you're withholding your own feelings regarding that, whether it's counter like counteracting feelings or corresponding or the same, right? And so I love how you let end the human experience so that we all can feel our own human experience. Like we're separate, we're individual, but we're in this together. And you
Mhm.
exemplify that so well and so beautifully in your own work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Man. Thank you so much for the kind wording. So,
Of
and yeah,
course.
I mean, and confidence, like you said, it comes all actually in together. But if we don't feel it within ourselves, then we can empower others.
Yeah.
If we do not acknowledge our self worth, our self esteem, our self efficacy, then we cannot actually spread it. There is a saying in Arabic that goes, "فاقد الشيء لا يعطي." The one that has nothing cannot give anything.
Hmm.
I
That is
mean,
so
yeah.
true.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes. You'll have to send that to me, actually, if you don't mind, one day
Mhm.
soon.
Sure.
I love that. Yes, yes. And it's I mean, I think it is a universal saying too. Like if you, like you can't pour from an empty cup.
Empty cup.
Yeah. Um, and so what is confidence to you? I mean, so many people think confidence is this external bravado, like look at me, I'm going down, looking snazzy at the walk. Other people just think it's quiet behind the scenes, whatever. What's confidence to you?
Confidence is abundance. Confidence is self ponderance. So, confidence is the genuinity of our intelligence in order to make a difference within ourselves and those that are around us. To be profound, you have to compound the positivity that you have, right? So, it's genuinely acknowledging of ourselves, whether we are being validated or not. As long as we validate ourselves and we are comfortable with our own skin, that really that all there is. That's all that's important, because confidence is also the definition. It's like I'm okay if they're not okay. I'm okay if they're not cool with it. I'm completely okay. I mean, love is the old. They also say, I mean, love me or hate me, I'm still gonna shine. So it's like it's okay. I mean, it's not really an issue. I mean, sometimes it may get into where it's other people's ego. You feel like you're, oh, this person is showing off. They're stepping on. No, it's not necessarily, because that's their just their insecurity speaks loud. That's why they'll try to enfase the hateness upon to you. They try to validate. They try to criticize in every other way. Just know it's not them speaking. It's just their insecurity. That's why even once, I mean, even on I believe it was episode 81 or 88, I can't remember, where I had it with one of the individuals, Shabnam, where we talked it. I believe where I said is that I believe haters are not necessarily haters. They just want someone to hear them out.
Mm-hmm.
They just want someone to listen to them. They just want to vent it out. And because they're facing with a lot of the pressures, a lot of parameters that is just circulating across them, whether it's on the school, whether it's at work, whether it's the surroundings, whether it's the peer pressure. And this is why, I mean, unfortunately, that's why, I mean, the depression and suicide, unfortunately, it's really sad. It's on the rise. This is the reason why, I mean, but when we take this stance, I mean, this is when people they start hating on each other, and then the others they literally they can't handle it. They feel like they just want to take their life away. But this is actually should be the other way around. So I'm just even in that kind of regard. If there was any hater that approaches me or whatnot, I mean, I'll listen. I was like, want to have a cup of coffee? You want to vent some more? It's like, let's do it, because it doesn't bother me anymore. And based on my experiences, as I dig deeper towards the pinnacle of the problem, and then it goes back towards their roots, towards those that are around, what they tell them. So it's like we are the average of whom we circle ourselves with. Birds'
Mm-hmm.
feathers flock together. And that's why even the wordings of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, when he says, a person depends on the religion of his friend. So be careful the types of friends that you circle yourself with. And also, a friend is like a mirror. You can't see a wrinkled shirt and then you expect it to be ironed. It's the mirror, it's the reflection, right? So this is actually what's the internalization of it all. So to acknowledge it, and to allow basically to kick the hate to the side, because once we hate, it's not great. That's why we have Google Translate.
So many bumper sticker slogans and fire truths from Usama.
I'm learning
I
from
love
you.
it. Learning from me. Oh my gosh, I love it. No, I think that's awesome. How you especially said that if you know people who have all this negative energy, they really just want to be heard out. And think about it, when you're feeling in a negative way and you can't get out, a lot of people just vent. You're stuck. And people sometimes think that, you need to get it out externally. So sometimes it is like, okay. And if you
Hmm.
hear that person listen, though, long enough, you will realize that they're actually talking about themselves and saying that
Oh,
that's you. I've noticed that lately.
oh.
I'm
Woof.
like, oh,
I don't
really?
know what to drop.
Oh, oh, have you looked in a mirror lately? Do you want to go find one? Let's go walk to a mirror together.
That's powerful right there.
No, but really, I mean, have you noticed that too? It's like, wow, wow,
Yeah.
you look
Rawr.
like
Like, just
and that's
yeah.
okay. I think it's so common for us to get in our thought loop, if we all have our own past, we all have our own woundings, and we're walking wounds, all of us. And if we pay attention to it, then we're less woundy, right? So you said earlier about making it a daily practice to get in tune with yourself. Those who are out of tune, they're always projecting and they're walking wounds, and
Mhm.
um, and and saying that you're the reason why they're wounded. And I think that that's always an opportunity to just look inside and be like, is that true?
True.
So,
True. True.
and real quick though, maybe not real quick, but I do want to go back to when you mentioned, you know, depression and suicide going up, especially right now. We're still in the thick
Mhm.
of the pandemic. The world has been changing for 2 years now. There's so much conflict in the world in general right now, and and add that to the already present bullying, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How do you? And I always try to think about this too. We can't, going back to, you can't pour from an empty cup, or you can't
Right.
save people, but you can be there. Um, like how do you suggest that, when you're able, if you're able, how do you be there for people who don't know or feel that they can't ask for help?
Companionship.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Companionship, checking in. People underestimate. It's like highly underestimated when you just check in, when you send a message on LinkedIn or voice message, and you just reach out. It's like, hey, how's it going, man? It's been a while. I haven't heard from you. How you doing? May you be blessed. May you be tranquil. May the day be blessed with tranquility, with blessings of greatness of world. Wish you all the best. And sometimes you get a message back, wow, I really needed that because I was undergoing through a lot. Oh, I wish you generally the best of luck. And you just say, it's like, if you need someone to talk to, I'm available. That just, oh, sometimes you just tell someone, it's like, hey, by the way, you're awesome. You're amazing. Just those messages, you don't know how it's going to amplify. So checking up on someone, and not for the sake of like transactionally, but
Mm-mm.
transformatively, immeasurably, wholeheartedly, realistically, lovably, right? This one, it all actually comes aligns together. And where does it start? It starts with the intention, because
Hmm.
intention is the internalization of deep rooted communication. It
Yeah.
comes deeply rooted in towards that. So, and you just, yeah, and you just put yourself out there and you just ask them, it's like, hey, and if there's anything, always just reach. You don't know how they're gonna think of that day. Oh, and then the moment, not only them, and then you wish them well, and then you wish their family well. You know how they're gonna make you feel. So just those messages, as they say, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
But I say it's the care that abundance, and at the same time, it's the share that allows the person to care. So yeah.
I love it. And how do you let people know that you need that compassion, that care? Do you do that, or do you just retract? Like, what does
Hmm.
Usama do?
Okay. That's a very good one. I mean, a very good question. A lot of times, of course, definitely. I mean, I'll this one even when it comes towards this regard, I'll forever be indebted again. I mean, number one, of course, religion comes number one, and then of course my beloved, lovely, incredible family, my mother, my sister, and of course you've got the LinkedIn lovely and LinkedIn family who always every now and then they check in and they say, hey, if there's anything whatsoever. But one thing that I observed over the years, and this also, which brings even to the conversation that once I had with Nancy Boris and Brian Schumann, is that the thing is the problem with a lot of us that are givers, we have a hard time taking, we have a hard time
Mhm.
receiving. It's a really hard thing. So sometimes to ask for something, I I I have to. I think twice, but then my mentor by the name Ahmed Khalid, one of incredible individuals, once he told me something, he goes like, "There's no shame in asking." He said, "I was at that road." He says like that. I was there before, where I just wanted to do everything on my own. But then afterwards, I just learned it's okay to ask. It's not like you're begging; it's you're
Mhm.
asking for something. And sometimes the other person from the other end is waiting for you to ask.
Mhm.
It's waiting for you to ask. It's like, oh, I can't believe you that you just asked, right? I can't believe that you, and it builds up towards that serious momentum. So this is what it is. I mean, generally, we all need each other. I mean, just like in the wordings of my previous roommate once said, it's like, what's the use of us human beings if we don't help one another, if we don't encourage one
Mhm.
another, if we don't support each other, though we're living in the one whole world, wide world. But though it's a small world, once we land our hand towards the other person, we lift them up. We take them out of their grievances, from darkness towards light, so that they can smile bright. And this is actually one of the prophetic teachings. Is actually one person that guaranteed towards paradise is actually that takes a person out of grievancelessness, out of difficulties and tribulations, and towards a better state. That one there ranks as just above and beyond. So people might think, but what is it for me? It's like the tranquility, the compassion that you'll feel in your heart. That one, to me at least, it's worth way more than any money in the world that can buy. That any money in the world that can buy. That's the best feeling ever. Or when you get a message, a DM, or this because of this. Because of that show, I started doing this. Because of this, I started pursuing my education. Because of this, I started becoming responsible. Because of this, I started making differences. Listen, is the best thing ever to see people progressing forward and helping others. That's what the ripple of effect is all about. The circle of reciprocity.
Yes, yes, definitely. And do you agree it just goes back to feeling like you deserve it? Like, oh, I'm a giver, but I get to receive as well. And there's no shame in that.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that because I have gotten to the point where I actually am getting really good at having no issues telling people what I need, but only after I ask that of myself first. Like, what do I need? And I see if I can handle it from within, right? And then if it's an outsourcing issue or if I need to outsource it, then I just reach out. And I think a lot of people get stuck on, well, who do I know? Like, how do I know who to reach out to? And I love how you just said, like, just ask. You just have to ask.
Hmm. Ask and you shall receive, right?
Definitely. So I
Yeah.
do want to go back. Is it all right? You've talked about bullying before and how you were bullied. Like, who would? Okay, first of all, who would ever want to bully you, and why? And how did you overcome those weird, strange, confused people? And how did that
um.
tie into your confidence?
Hmm. It's lots of things.
I know.
In the wordings even of Robert Barry, it's like when people they see a light in you, they would like to deem it. they would like to deem it the moment they sparkle. And whenever when I used to, because even this goes back. I mean, at the age of 12, I was a rapper back in the day. I don't even say it out loud, but this I shared it once. But it
You
was
have the
something of a
mixtape? I
short
want to buy
term.
it.
No, I don't do it anymore though. It was probably a 1 2 month. It was at that moment following the trend, the freestyle, the battle. It was that I was in that zone. But what made me feel even more in depth and love of it because of words. I fell in love with words. I fell in love with poetry. I fell in love with rhymes, and so sometimes I'll read a certain scriptures or verses, and then I add my own analysis to it. I was like, oh, I read this, and then I add some of my own caveats to it, and then I felt, oh wow, this is, and I bridge it together. So this is actually when I used to speak in that kind of way. Whenever you used to talk with some people, they're, oh god. So that's why, I mean, I observed one thing. I never used to click along with people of my age mates. A lot of my Most of my those I used to spend time were like 5 6 years older than me. So even at the age of 11, 10, I used to speak to my dad's friends. I was at that moment, I really, because I don't know why, I've always felt the conversation had a little bit more benefit. Like there's so much you learn from people that are way more experienced than you. That's just at least to how I see it, to my point of view at least. And the moment I started circulating myself with people that are, I feel like I learned so much more. So this is why actually what made me different from the rest. So even because of the moment, the stuff that they do, I don't copy it. I was like, nah, I don't. I'm not a copycat. Sorry, I don't do that. So this is where, because also even growing up when I was extremely young, something like 11, 12, 13, when I was significantly young, I mean, I used to fight a lot because I used to refuse being provoked. I mean, if anything happens, instantly I'll fight. If someone makes fun of me, I used to fight. That's how I was back in the day. But then as I started to grow, I think at the age of 14, 15, this is when my mindset changed. I became a calm person. All of us, like, I changed. So this is where the bullying took place. I used to get bullied by my seniors and used to be physically bullied and everything. It used to hurt me. I mean, behind closed doors, I used to cry behind closed doors. But my source of compassion, belief, and faith, and had it not been by, of course, by my lovely parents who were there for me, and they used to always tell me, "You're gonna be someone great." So just paddle down. It's part of life. You're going to be someone great. You're going to be making a lot of impact. You're going to be doing so much great things. Just keep your head up high. Never actually let this just a little bit of drowsiness to pull you down, or any sorts of surroundings and spins bring you down. In fact, you rise up towards the occasion and make the best situation. I, all of those actually couple of moments, all of those cultivation words, it kept me moving forward. And then I also used to love writing. So when sometimes it used to be some sort of it used to be some sort of like therapeutic actually, to me at least, because I used to write down. I used to write down the goals. In future, I'm gonna be doing this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And in future, I was like, I even one of them was like, I want to be. My goal is to impact whoever I meet, and not forcefully impact, because that's not impact, that's manipulation. But impact could be silence sometimes, because I mean, character speaks volume. Right? This is, I genuinely mean, to always try to rise towards that occasion and to make someone their day a better day. I mean, to do whatever. So this is what one thing I was heavily engrossed towards, and this is why I kept it. I grew upon with it. So when I joined university at first, I still had a little bit of insecurities because of based on previous trauma. So it used to be there. But towards the end of the first semester, I was like, hey, I can't be like this. I just gotta be me. Let me just spark up my own light that's within me. So this is what the energy that I before I was to be, what about if I exuded out? But then afterwards I was like, hey, I'm just gonna be me. Whoever likes it, well off and good, and whoever doesn't, that's also fine. And this is when I started sparking out. I started speaking to everyone, and I just started socializing with everyone. I started doing whatsoever in those kind of conversation. And then there was a moment where I participated as a motivational speaker of the university, and ever since then, I was just like, okay, and let's go forward. And the rest is history, and we're still learning every other day, because I feel it's just the beginning. But this is how I overcame it. I went through it. I went out of my way to make someone's day better. To me, it shouldn't be a certain trauma that drags me down. So now I get to drag others along, because that's just a vicious cycle. But for instance, from a religion perspective, it's like when someone does harm to you, you can retaliate. But to those actually that forgive and pardon, their rewards is unmeasurable,
Yeah.
immeasurable per se. So why not actually spread that, spread goodness as much as possible, and be the best human beings that we possibly can be. So yeah.
Mm, I love it. Oh my gosh. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Um, wow. I still can't get over the fact that you were a rapper for like a month or two. You were.
Yeah.
I really want a mixtape now. And
Uh, it's a secret. Don't share it with others, Amir. This is a
oh,
secret
oh
between me and
yes,
you.
yes, yes, definitely
Yeah.
not. No, and I love how you said forgiveness. You know, forgiveness is so powerful, and I feel like oftentimes we have to forgive ourselves as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like forgive ourselves for the times that we unintentionally retaliate or act off of our own trauma. And when we're not perfect. Um, what do you say to those who think of confidence as a source of perfection, or trying to like, oh well, I don't have any insecurities anymore. I'm completely normal. Like, what do you
Mm-hmm.
what do you say to people who strive for that mentality?
Well, a perfection is a sign of insecurity. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Thanks for
sorry I said
dropping
it
that
out there. I
truth.
said that this now it's gonna. But I'm just gonna be. I'm gonna be honest, like it is, because
Mm,
we human beings, we're not perfect. So yeah, even when there was an individual that described as couples when they unite, it says like it's when two imperfect individuals trying to make a perfect relationship. This is what the essence is about, right? When for instance a man and woman come together, and then that's what the essence is, the blessings actually upon to it. So this is what it is. I mean, we can try to get better every other day. We try to get better. So confidence, I would say, is also another way, I mean, of acknowledging our flaws and being able to admit it fully. It's like, yeah, I messed up over here. Yeah, I know over here I did not know, but now, I mean, thank you for so much for rectifying me. And it, like, yeah, being of the fact that you acknowledge it, you move forward, and you learn from your mistakes. I mean, because failures, it's part of, it's either three lessons. We learn from it, we accept it, we embrace it, and next thing comes moving on.
yes,
Because this world, I mean, doesn't revolve around our plans. Sometimes things don't go as expected. Why don't we live in the moment and try so that we allow the expectation to go according to our coordination?
most definitely.
So yeah.
I love it. Yes. And, me personally being all about personal power, coaching around personal power, even when the topic is not personal power, I always end up like, let's talk about our personal power. Definitely goes hand in hand with confidence, but it is breaking down that sense of perfectionism where, some days, and especially lately, um, recognizing that I am currently not in a place to continue with showing up, because I was through showing up, I started seeing, some things, some past traumas that were showing up in my life that I needed to figure out for myself, right? And that is that sense of self forgiveness, leaning in, forgiveness of others, taking that time to just like, I'm going to be a mess today, but I'm going to be a mess to myself and with myself. And And I'm going to also just look at how beautiful the sun is shining as I'm kind of figuring out this mess, right? And I think just leaning into the small stuff as you're working out of, the whole sense of perfectionism and just being like, but I'm me, and that is enough. I think that is such an impactful and important element that we all should give a gift of, that we should all have as a gift to ourselves, for sure.
Right.
And so
Right.
I'm very curious, Usama. What are some things you do on a daily basis that just help you keep being you, keep you grounded, keep you that confident, awesome Usama?
I'm not as awesome once I'm next to Carol and all the legends who are listening on
We
replay or live. So yeah,
we can be awesome together.
see, dropping bombs. I mean, boom,
Dropping fire truths, dropping fire truths.
fire truth. Eh? Uh I mean, the daily basis is number one. I mean, thing that I do every other day is five daily, the 5 daily prayers. The 5 daily prayers. I mean, this one actually keeps me on ground and ignites my purpose. And then, of course, pondering and reflecting, of course, in the Holy Book Quran, and good company, being around good company, work, of course, working, and trying at the same time working on video edits from time to time. And so yeah, it's a couple of things, and consistently, I mean, trying to read, even if reading something for the very first time and everything, because there's actually one of the scholars of the past once says there is no blessing, there is no blessing in a day if knowledge is not seeked.
Uh,
Right. So
yes.
that's why it's like to always learn something new, or even if you've learned something, you act upon it, because there are two words in Arabic. There's one word called ilm, which means knowledge, and amal, which means action. And if you observe those two words, they go together, ilm amal, which means those two things together. You learn something, you act upon it, right? And these are the two things that bridges the two worlds together. And this is why actually one of the scholars of the past by the name Imam al-Ghazali once says knowledge without action is insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Action without knowledge is baseless.
Yes.
It stands on no ground. It's like it's just basically like just roaming around aimlessly. Okay, you act,
Mhm.
but aimlessly, right? But to have the foundation knowledge of what it's all about, and this is actually where it puts a lot of blessings. I mean, even if we go from the scriptures, as it said from the Bible, basically, whoever works hard, God will put blessings in their hands, in their path. And this is what it is. I mean, it's all about the quality. And even if it's a quote, sometimes you came across a quote, you write it down, you implement it, because we write as we listen, we read as we review, we revise as we memorize, to improvise as our main inclination is to be wise, and hence to internalize. So yeah.
Whoa, my goodness. And I think you were just rapping right there, too.
No.
Who needs a mixtape, guys? We've got audio. Hashtag Fire Truth. That's the name of your album.
Fire truth.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Usama, you're just a total joy. Thank you so much for all your nuggets of knowledge and perspective and all of the above. What? I don't know. Let's see. I just dropped it. I've just been having such a good time just listening to you and talking with you today. Um, what else do you just want to just put out there? Just say. to whoever is watching, whether it's a new project that you're doing or more fire truths or anything?
Hmm. Uh, well, I don't know, man. One thing, one thing. I mean, before even as a lot of times is before even I remind myself, like before I remind others, I remind myself first. I mean, is to never give up, to never lose hope, and keep the faith, and everything is gonna be alright. I mean, if the sun rises, it will always set with you. And when it comes to project basis, I would say it's just the coaching that I do. I mean, I bridge the two worlds together, life and public speaking together. That's why I called it as life speaking coach per se. So I bridge those two worlds together. In order to speak, you have to be at your peak,
Yes.
i.e., your life. So I try to bridge those two words together. If you're looking for confidence, empowerment, in that kind of regard, please reach out. I'll be more than happy actually to help you out. And yeah, to hopefully in a way, basically you can grow, thrive, and inspire and empower those that are around you, because that's one of the conditions. Whatever that's there, I mean, it's because the type of it's very infectious. So you have to carry it on with that contagiousness to the rest of the world.
Most definitely. Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Usama. I am going to put you back in the green room. Don't leave me just yet, okay?
Sure. See
Okay.
ya!
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Oh, Usama, you sweet, sweet human. So, I have a couple things I want to talk about. Tonight, I will be part of the showing up, or not showing up, but the 24-hour fundraiser for Man and Woman of the Year. It's called Open Your Hearts and Wallets. It is, bam, starting tonight at 6 p.m. All of us are going to be, it's 13 of us, we're going to be live streaming from various platforms. I will be on from 12 a.m. tonight to 2 p.m. And I'll be with Steve Sullivan as well. He's going to join me, and I'm going to interview him a little bit again, like I did on Showing Up. And I'm also going to, we're just going to shoot the breeze, talk the talk, just be crazy. He's going to be with me for about an hour. And, might have like a laser light show with my animals. Who knows what we're going to do. We're going to have fun tonight. And you can find out where we all are going to be and who, and you can also donate, but you can find all of this on donations.perspectivesoncancer.com. So yes, go here, find us, and also we'll all be on LinkedIn live streaming, so you can't escape us. You cannot escape us. So thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you next time. Take care.